Hey everybody, I'm William.
I'm Kina.
And we are the Nerdyweds. And today we're doing part 2 of our Shelfie series. This is the small shelf in our game room. These are not the shelves you see behind us during the videos. This is a shelf sitting off to the side.
Yeah, and don't judge us because this is a very messy shelf.
It needs to be reorganized. You got Onitama all the way up there by code names.
Maybe they should judge us and maybe we'll then fix this madness. So let's just jump into it. Right there you can see Something Wild. We have a bunch of different versions of this game because we love the figurines and we wanted to collect them all. This game we talked about in a previous video, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it right now. It is a 2 to 4 player. It's a set collection game. It's fun to play, easy to teach, and a great icebreaker game.
Oh yeah, it's a great game, and the miniatures are stinking cute. But moving on from that, we have Codenames. Codenames is a 2 or more player game where you have a set of cards set out in a grid, and the teams consist of one person giving clues and the other members of each team trying to guess those clues. The clues are one word that corresponds with words that are on the grid and the number of words that the clue giver intends for them to find. They try to guess the words. If they get it right, the words get eliminated. If they get it wrong, they either give a point to the other team or find something they shouldn't have. And it could end the game. So that's Codenames.
Okay, and below that we have The Crew, which is a card game. It is co-op. It is 3 to 5 player, and it is a trick-taking game with a lot of twists thrown into it. Really fun. Next to that, you see Epic. Is that one of our Epic?
That is an expansion for Epic Tiny Dungeon.
Yes.
Which, here are the Epic series games that we have here. We have Tiny Epic Dungeons, Tiny Epic Zombies, and Tiny Epic Galaxies. Those are our Tiny Epic series games that we currently have on hand. And the only one I think we've played so far is Tiny Epic Galaxies. Really want to get the other two on the table, though.
We have to do what we said, where we're going to have a weekend and play as many of our games that we have not played yet. And we, of course, will film it with some time lapses for you guys' viewing pleasure, because that is going to be quite a feat. And I think both of us will be sleep drunk at some point. So back to this shelf, you can see Paperback right here. That is a word game where you have letters that you're placing down to create words and trying to get more points than the other players.
Here, a little honorable mention, you have Abaddon's, which is a little tile placing dungeon crawler game that the developer of the game was at a convention and we bought it from him. It's a fun little single player, just kill some time, kind of like solitaire kind of game.
Yes.
It doesn't play like solitaire, but it is a fun little dungeon crawler, if you will.
And yes, and underneath that is Flock, which is a game, I don't think you liked it as much as I did. We got it from Ollie's, and I believe it, game down.
Need some milk.
So this one is, I was going to say it was 2 to 4 player, but
I believe it is.
I don't see it on here, but this is a game where you have resource management and would you say resource management?
Yeah, definitely. Resource management, kind of, it's got a lot of things going on. It's a great game.
Yeah.
With all these food and eggs and different tiles, little pieces to take.
You've got a little good view on there where they can read the back of the box. So we're not going to go into detail of any particular game. We're also not going to talk about every game on the shelf. So if there's one you want to know more about, just ask us in the comments. And if you want us to do a separate video on one, that can be done as well. So game here, I have to at least do an honorable mention of this. I did do a short of it, but this is my little handheld organ trail that I got just for nostalgia's sake, and I love it. So
Yeah.
just wanted to show that. Those of you that know, if you know, you know, right?
Right.
If you know, then you're old.
If you know,
If you know,
you
then
know,
you
you know,
old.
you know.
No, if you know, you old.
An honorable mention, or well, I was going to say Nuka-Cola Checkers, but I actually wanted to talk about Onitama real quick. Great 2-player game. I also did a short on that. Check it out, and really love that game.
Since we talking about all the shorts that we did, I'm just going to throw Coup there.
Throw
It
Coup
is
out
a
there.
social deduction game, and it is 2 to 6 player, and it is a lot of fun. A good introduction to social deduction games. Take a look at the short. It explains how to play the game in more detail if you want to know.
All right, here we go. We got, that is a board game. That is Pickle Rick, the board game.
Isn't it cute?
It's got the game pieces and tiles. It is a dungeon crawler combat game with Pickle Rick, featuring Pickle Rick and the guy he fights in that episode. I can't remember his name. Oh, the Panther, I think is the
okay.
name of the guy.
But we haven't even played it yet. And it
There's
wants
a
to
lot
be
of that on
played
these
because
shelves.
it threw itself off of this shelf the other day. I swear I did not pull a Urkel and bump into it and knock it down. I did not do that. It did it itself because it was saying, hey, play me, play me. But right next to it is Bang, which we have played. And it was a lot of fun. We got to one. It's got a little bit of element of social deduction in it. But it is a card game where you're trying to kill the people you need to kill.
Yep.
And survive yourself.
Yep. The sheriff versus bad guys, and the bad guys trying to eliminate the sheriff and the deputies and everything else. And like she said, a little social deduction. It's a lot of fun. Moving down. So moving down to this shelf, we have one of Kina's favorite series of games, Munchkin. She absolutely loves Munchkin. She can't get enough Munchkin.
No.
And I have to keep her from putting it on the table. Really.
Let's move on from Munchkin because, we don't do that here.
I actually like Munchkin. It's a little dungeon crawler that you can play cards against your friends, and you're trying to collect different weapons and treasures and level up your guys so you can defeat the dungeon.
Obviously, you like it. You got like 3 of them. When
one of them is Gloom.
Munchkin Gloom, but it's still Munchkin, babe. Gloom is Gloom. So this is Gloom right here. This is a fun little game. It's got a little bit of element of storytelling in it because you have a family that you are trying to kill off, and the other players are trying to stop you from doing that by making your family happy. So you have right here, you can see transparent cards where you're putting different other cards on top of it to make them miserable. And the other players are putting the cards on top of that to make them happy. So a lot of fun packed in this small box.
Yeah, and there are plenty of expansions for that I've always wanted to get. All right, moving over here, we have the Oregon Trail series of board games, an expansion for Onitama right there. But the
That's
Oregon
what you should have talked about, Onitama. Now,
I've never
Oregon
played that
Trail
expansion.
is mine. That's mine.
Well, you can talk about it.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm kidding. It's a co-op game.
It's a co-op where you're going to die of dysentery in card form. And then next to that, we have the Ricks Must Be Crazy, which is one of our Rick and Morty games. Now moving on to this shelf here, got a couple of games from my favorite series of anime, kind of American anime series, Robotech. We got Ace Pilot and Call to Arms, or Force of Arms, rather.
Okay, and moving down to the bottom shelf, you have Night Eternal, which is based off of True Blood. And it's the game that they actually played in the show. Next to that, Vampire Empire. I just bought it because it looked cool. I haven't played it. I don't remember. I'm sure I opened it. I don't remember doing so. It's been so long since we bought it, but look how cool that looks. So that is one that we need to open, maybe do an unboxing. And then next to is Patchwork Express, really fun game.
It's a UA Rosenberg game.
And it is one that plays, to me, like Tetris. That's why I like it. So let's look at it. So you're laying the pieces, and they're kind of Tetris-like. And so it's got a bit of that puzzle element to it. And it is a 2-player. So that's one that we should do a video on.
All right, next to this last shelf here, we've got Trial by Trolley, which is a cyanide and happiness game. We got a couple cyanide and happiness games on the shelf, including Joking Hazard. You probably glimpsed it on one of the other shelves. But that one takes the classic trolley dilemma and turns it into a board game of increasing hilarity. That's the only way to describe that game. It can be a lot of fun depending on the group you're playing with, but it is not made for children like any of the cyanide and happiness games. So the cartoons are cute, but it's not made for children.
No, it's not.
And then we got Voodoo Mania, which is a dangerous game on the shelf.
Fun.
It is a game of matching symbols and stuff.
And you gotta be quick.
It's brutal. It's a brutal card game. And then A Little Wordy. That's one of your favorites down here on this bottom shelf. That's the one where you have a secret word that somebody's trying to guess what the word is.
Yeah.
And you got different cards that allow you to spend some resources to get guesses to ask the other player about their word. So that's A Little Wordy.
So a lot of games on this shelf. So just let us know in the comments if there's one you want to know more about or one you want us to do a separate video on. We've already decided on a couple that we're going to do separate videos on. So stay tuned for that. So that's all I've got.
That's all I've got. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time,
Stay nerdy.